Hi, I'm Dr. Dawson. Today I want us to talk a little bit about football. Won't be an issue for some of you, but for a lot of you, it's something that's going to come up. So it's clearly become apparent over the last couple of decades that football has gotten a little bit more dangerous. And that primarily has to do with head injuries and neck injuries and that type of thing. And for those of y'all who don't really pay that much attention to football, you may wonder, why has this come about? It primarily has to do with the change in helmets. Back in the 40s and early 50s, when folks were just wearing leather helmets, they didn't offer much protection. They weren't very well padded. You didn't tackle folks with your head because it hurt your head. And so back then, players were primarily taught to use their shoulder pads and their arms to tackle. And that worked fine for that era. And it didn't cause near the violent collisions that we see today. Then kind of in the late 50s, 60s, and 70s, helmet design improved where the inside of the helmet was more padded, so it offered more protection. And then the outer shell of the helmet became tougher. Well, now the helmet made it where it didn't hurt that much to hit the person with your head. And so coaches started teaching players to use their helmet as the primary source of contact when tackling someone. And that then has led to a lot more violent collisions, a lot more concussions, and long-term damage to the brain, as well as neck injuries and those types of things. So that's made the decision to play football a lot trickier. Now, football is fun. This country loves it. And so it deserves some of our attention. I think that, the problem is, as a parent, your primary job is to protect your child and to worry about them. So let's talk a little bit about what we can do about this. Now, I have a little bit of a unique perspective on this. It is not widely held by the pediatric community. In fact, I haven't really found anybody else that agrees with me on this, but you can listen and then see what you think. But I encourage all of my families that have 11, 12, and 13-year-olds to let them play full contact pad football. At this age, they're in general not big enough, fast enough, or strong enough to cause the kind of damage that causes permanent damage to their bodies. I'm not saying it can happen, but the majority of the collisions that happen at a high enough impact to cause permanent damage are going to come with the bigger, faster, stronger players. So the beauty of this is, after playing a few seasons, about 60% of the boys will realize they don't really like full contact pad football. And so they move on into other sports. And so for that 60%, this controversial issue has been taken care of without having to prohibit them from playing football. And the problem just took care of itself. So that's about 2/3 of our boys where we didn't even have an issue. Now, for the other 40%, this is the kind of thing where we have to sit down with the family and have a serious conversation about whether it's worth taking the risk to play or not. I would compare it to when we start driving a car. We all know that there are significant risks involved with driving a car, but it's a risk that we're, by and large, willing to take. So for those who are willing to take the risk and that the child loves playing pad football enough to do that, I think we have to support them in that. So I think this helps at least the 60% out there. For the other 40%, I think we owe it to them to try to encourage better technology in helmet design so that it both protects the child's neck better and is less damaging to the person on the other side of the helmet, as well as other perhaps changes in equipment and perhaps the technique that's being taught, and even some minor rule changes to diminish the violence of the contact in the sport. So keep in mind that football is fun and that young boys and men like to mix it up. So let's see if we can't help them with some of those tougher decisions. I hope this will help.